What's going on, y'all?
We'd like to welcome you to another episode. I think this is episode 3
Yes, it is.
of No Filters Podcast. I'm your host, Drew, Father Drew. And this is my lovely co-host.
India, your girl India.
Yeah. And so, welcome to No Filters Podcast. It's real people,
Real relationships,
real talk, and no filters. So welcome once again. What are we talking about today?
So what we're talking about today is women and men dress.
Oh, the way women and men dress.
Yes.
See, behind the scenes, we were having an in-depth conversation.
Very in-depth, okay?
And we just felt like we had to bring y'all into it. The unfiltered. We have a segment on our show called Unfiltered, right? Where we go unfiltered about a topic. And so we had to make this conversation our unfiltered topic today. So we're talking about how men and women dress while in relationships and how your spouse or your partner may feel about it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what we saying about how women dress?
Yes.
Is there an issue? Do you think women should dress a certain way while they're in relationships?
No, not at all. You be yourself. Like, you meet this person as who you are. I'm meeting such and such as India.
Okay.
So therefore, I am not going to change myself just because you and I are connected now.
And you shouldn't change you, but you might have to change your clothes.
Oh no! Hell no! Wait, no.
I mean, listen.
What do you mean you should
not change your clothes in terms of the
Like-
way you dress, but once you're in a relationship, once you go outside, if you might be advertising and you may not know it.
I mean, I guess that's fair.
Yeah. So I mean,
But the thing is, don't you think that you as a man
okay.
should be secure enough in your own being to know that if I am with you, I'm with you, period. I don't care if I got a bathing suit on. I don't care if I have a whatever on. Like, it could be a freaking plastic bag. Like,
I am secure. It's not if I am with you, but when I am with you.
okay.
It's different than if I am with you. If I'm at home chilling and I'm watching the kids and you walk out and you got a dress on and I see both your cheeks showing at the bottom of that joint, then I'm going to be thinking about that. Hey, wait a second. Wait. So where are we going tonight?
Right, so...
And why does the neighborhood or the wherever you're going, why do they need to see what I see all the time?
But the thing is, did you meet her with her dress up her ass?
But that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes you might need to, if you haven't changed, then the way you dress doesn't need to change so drastically. And if it does, then it does for a reason.
Right, and it should be for my reason because it's my body and I decide what to put on it. If I feel as though it's not disrespecting you. So I'm just going to give you, just like you said, like, I wouldn't, like, me personally, I would not have a dress that short. It's not comfortable for me. Like, okay. I know what God blessed me with. So I'm not going to be like, oh, I know this advertising. I'm talking about if I'm with somebody or not. You feel what I'm saying? So if I meet the dude, he should know that about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a woman can be tastefully revealing.
Okay.
That makes sense.
No, I absolutely agree with you. But I also feel like if somebody wants to reveal more, then they will, right?
Yeah, this is true.
And so it's not about the dress for me, but it's about why are you dressed like this leaving the house? I mean, like, who you showing this off for? Like, this is my stuff.
So, but what about when it comes to women? Like, and
what you talking about, Willis?
So y'all ladies know when a man has like a certain type of suit on, if it's a European cut, okay, and
or all right, so
okay,
maybe
or sweatpants,
a sweatsuit,
okay, yes,
all right,
okay, like
the
you're not leaving,
heavy.
You're not leaving the crib, like if you have some sweatpants on, like it's not happening.
But
especially if you like going commando, that definitely.
I hear what you're saying, but we just lived through a pandemic. So it's not about what I'm doing for preference. This is for necessity. These are the clothes that I have because I gained 15 pounds during the pandemic. I didn't dress up every day. Look, leisure wear has gone through the roof.
This is true.
In the last year.
This is true.
Like all the leisure wear companies and the other lines have developed leisure wear lines because now people are just dressing simply to be comfortable.
Correct.
Comfortable.
Right.
I mean, and so when I go out, whether I wear a suit or sweats, I just like to be comfortable. Nobody wants to. I'm not thinking about who's looking at me when I'm dressed down. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I dress up I put a hat on to dress up. Okay. It's not about the other stuff, okay. Right? Mm-hmm. But I'm not thinking about who's looking at me. I'm just trying to be comfortable.
Okay. Well, also it could be, it too comfortable, and you're kind of advertising. Okay. I mean, to everyone, what I'm looking at every day, and I'm enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? So it could be an issue, just like it's an issue if a woman has. It's the same thing. Don't you think? It's the same dynamic, in my opinion.
But if I'm saying this is my body and I'm doing what I want to, and she tells me, "Hey, what's going on?" Mm-hmm. And I'm saying I'm just going to do what I want to do. Like if I have to adjust, you know what I mean? Like I'm going to adjust somehow, some way. But like for people who are very voluptuous, mm-hmm. there's but so much that they can do.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's the same. So I think in a relationship, I think it comes down to a compromise.
It comes down to
and about what makes the other person feel uncomfortable.
Because here's this. So if you worked in a prison.
Yeah, of course, but that's also different because that's work attire. We're just talking about.
But even if you didn't wear a uniform, mm-hmm. Even if it was business casual or like if you're a teacher,
right,
in a prison, GED classes or something, and you're very voluptuous. Like I was watching one lady, she was talking about how she would wear something to drape over her, right, so that her complete figure wouldn't show.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, well, if you have to do that, then you also need to be just as intentional mm-hmm. about what you wear to girls' night. Because if you're worried about them looking because of what they're thinking about, mm-hmm. then you should be worried about the next person who's not locked up, the rest of the dudes in the section. You know what I mean? Because they thinking the same thing that them inmates might be thinking. You just might not be in as much danger, but trust me, danger is lurking.
We can handle it. Listen, we've been handling it for. I'll be 40 this year, y'all.
All right.
Okay, we've been handling it for 40 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So, you know what I'm saying? Like you just got to do. I believe what's comfortable for you and what's comfortable for the person that you're with. Because you want to be respectful, and I think that's important when it comes to relationships.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we can actually segue into today's topic, the episode's topic.
So today's topic on episode 3 of No Filters Podcast is choosing sides, right? Mm-hmm. When friends break up. So let's say, like I'm married, so my wife and I might have a couple two friends, mm-hmm. they're married or in a relationship and they break up. What happens next in terms of our relationship? Do you choose sides? Can you choose sides? Should you choose sides?
Well, I mean, I think it has to do with two things. I think it has to do with morality, and I think it has to also do with loyalty. So if, and it also depends on like who is the major person that connected, mm-hmm. The relationship in the first place.
Well, here's the question. Have you ever chosen sides?
I did. And it was with the person that I was connected to. Like I was connected to my homegirl, mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then I met her dude, mm-hmm. and, we would go to, do things all the time. And then when I heard that he had messed up, I always had her back from the beginning anyway.
I mean,
so it was just like, oh, well, it's just natural that you're just going to go for the person that you know in the first place. Yeah. And I also,
that's your friend.
Yes, because that's my friend from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't because of this relationship that caused us to be friends.
So I mean, I don't consider that really choosing sides.
Okay.
I'm thinking about in terms of as a unit,
Yeah.
Is it all right? Now we're her friend, or we are his friend.
Got you. Right.
You know
And
what
I
I mean?
understand. I understand. I think it depends on the morality I was saying about like what did he do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, did he cheat? Was he a serial cheater? Was it abuse? Was it like it's all kind of different things that he could do? Or was it like an amicable situation where it was
Okay.
like, okay, we just aren't getting along, or it's financial, or something tragic happened to me,
Yeah.
and it's like I can't get through it together.
Got you.
And then it's like, okay, well that's a little bit easier, but when it comes to those other topics, like it's like, what did he do, and was he doing it for a long time, and was he deceptive, and you know what I mean? It just has to do with the actual cause of it, and if it was one person's cause that did
Okay.
it, in my opinion.
So, but you think like, if you're a couple,
Mm-hmm.
you think that the two of you should choose based on that.
It's hard to say both of you doing the same thing
Yeah.
because you both have different friendship dynamics, right? Like, so say if like we both are friends with him, right? But y'all do different stuff, then him and I might be like, oh yeah, I just
Yeah.
see you at the crib, but y'all might go to play poker or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like a deeper friendship that y'all have.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So, all right. So we have the reason why makes a difference,
Right.
And
And the loyalty.
the loyalty.
Yeah.
So I guess if I have I'm a type of person, I make friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we both
And
do.
I
That's
feel,
a Libra
yeah,
thing.
That's a Libra
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely.
But I also feel like if there's a couple, right, then I should be his friend
A little bit.
a little bit more
Yeah.
than
I
her
agree.
friend.
Right.
I mean, even if just in terms of our regular interaction.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I
absolutely.
feel like you have to have boundaries. I don't need to, like we talked in the previous episode, like I don't need to talk to another female
Yeah, as
on
tight
the-
as I am.
yeah,
Right, exactly.
to that level,
Right.
but
Because you're like respecting your spouse.
exactly.
Yeah, I get that.
And so I just feel like, all right, for me, like if it's a couple, like, and me and him are friends, like I still might talk to him from time to time. Like, we might still go out for drinks or cigars or something. Because at the end of the day,
But what if he did all his messed up stuff?
well, it depends. So at the end of the day, men can talk through things with less emotion, I believe, than women. Even if it's about topics that can be emotional.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Give an example.
So, like a man can talk about, like I've had conversations with people, and we talk about, the end of their relationships and moving forward and mistakes that they've made.
Right.
Without getting emotional about the ex, the feelings involved in the offense, regardless of who committed it.
Is that a general sense that you're saying that, like, you think just men have possession of in general?
I think generally.
Okay.
Yeah, I think generally there's we have the ability to talk logically about things, free from emotion.
Well, do you think it's because of the guard that you guys put up naturally too? Because, like, I think, in my opinion, like, because women are more emotional than men, because I feel like society has allowed us that privilege, you know what I'm saying, to have that emotion and
You
express
don't
that.
think it's biological at all?
Well, I mean, I think it's both. Because, I mean, I know a lot of, women that aren't motherly. You know what I'm saying? Where they're like, I don't even want to hold a baby.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Where it's like, you would think like, oh my God, all women like love babies or kids or whatever the case may be. And some of them like, I don't even want to have them, Jones. Like, I'm good. So I'm just saying that lends to the fact that you can't blanket, or a person shouldn't blanket saying like, oh yeah, all women are, you know what I'm saying, nurturers.
Yeah.
Because they aren't. You know what I mean? You know?
But I think that women can be more emotional, even the ones who may not cry as much. They might yell and curse just
Got
as much.
you. But I think also, just in my opinion, is that like women are allowed to be upfront with their friend, where you guys might not be able to feel comfortable expressing that emotion. because y'all don't do that in the first place. So it's like the reason why we're like being emotional because we're authentically talking about the topic. Whereas though sometimes you got to be like, well, you know, it just didn't work out. You feel what I'm saying?
Nah, but I think that there's a difference because like we may be talking about it to talk through it while you all may be talking about it for emotional support.
Okay, so you're saying that both of the sexes need different things.
Absolutely.
After.
I mean, they need different things.
Yeah, right. That's just
right?
true. That's just true.
So I think we still need different things after. Like we talk about.
That's a good point.
Like mistakes, manhood, how to move forward. You know what I mean? Like, if you've been hurt, or even if you did the hurting coming out of a relationship, you're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're gonna try and seek answers and seek understanding in, you know, whatever way that you can. But I think that men aren't necessarily looking for the same type of support that women are.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Agree. Yeah.
Which is because we're fixers. Like even when we talk to each other, like we're
you're just trying to get to
fix.
the point.
Like, I'm trying to give you a key or a tool or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what our off-air producer, off-camera producer, you know, me and Reggie were talking about the same thing earlier, and he might speak up at some time, but hello.
My bad, my mic was on mute. What's up, y'all?
What's going on, Reg? Welcome to the conversation.
What's good, everybody?
Yeah, but I think that men don't need that. No. It's not that we don't need the emotional support. I think that we were not looking for it.
Right, because you're not. You know what I mean? You don't feel comfortable. Am I right with that? Like comfortable with seeking that emotional support amongst your men friends. Am I wrong or right?
I don't think. Well, are we talking about amongst our male friends or
male friends strictly?
It's difficult, and I think a few episodes Drew had touched on it in terms of it's very hard for men to detach from that masculinity.
Right.
You know, it's rare for a man to be tapped into his sensitive side because we do have it, right?
Right.
Yeah. Because we're human.
Right.
Absolutely. So we automatically have it. The difference between men and women is women, because of by nature, you ladies are more nurturers. You're more of a caring, right? Because you carry children. So by nature, I believe you're more of a caring nurturer. And men are too, but we're providers. Yeah. So by nature, you know, we're constantly... It's not that we purposefully hide that side, but I got to be a provider. I got to be the backbone for this. So it's not that I'm putting it to the side, but my wife is my wife is good at that. Yeah. Right.
It's just like put the baby down.
Right.
No, let me hold the baby and rock the baby and make the baby feel good, and that's what we do in our relationships. You know what I mean? The man is like, nah, you gonna put the baby your friend is the baby, and you're like, all right, let me put the baby down. Unless he needs something, let me give it what they need. But then I'm gonna put it down so he can go and do whatever he's gonna do on his own.
Okay.
But the woman, they still want to rock their friends and make them feel comfortable and support them, and you know what I mean. And then and they want to feel what they feel. Like, tell your story. How did he make you feel? What did he do? He did what? Oh, he's a dog. Blah, blah,
I'm
kind of
like, I'm mad at like how you're like, just like listen, we don't be doing
they talk about it all day and there's no solution. You know what I mean? And,
well, I can't. No. I will not agree with that.
I mean, there's no solution besides you better leave that nigga.
That's not true either. Are you serious? Like, because, like, oh my God. Like, I'm so glad you said
I'm not going to agree to that.
I
have an understanding.
Like,
I'm not going to agree to that.
I mean,
like
I'm exaggerating.
I'm glad you are. Please clarify.
Right. I'm absolutely exaggerating, but
that's really. But my point.
So much differently.
But my point I'm trying to say is, and I just challenge y'all to think, you know, a little bit broader. Okay, so I think that just because we live in a very patriarch society, that it doesn't allow for y'all to be emotional or to tap into those things, because like society hasn't given you that license like it has given us. And then even to go deeper, especially for black men. So white men might come off to be a little bit more feminine because we're not used to, because they're able to tap into that thing because they didn't go through slavery like we did.
I never thought about that.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's why guys like me are rare. Like I used to get asked all my life, coming a kid from West Philly, where you from?
Yeah.
You act different. You talk different.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, I'm from the heart of the hood.
Right.
You
Right.
feel me?
Down the street from them.
But we talked about this earlier. Understanding where you come from, understanding your foundation,
absolutely.
allows you to separate yourself from your surroundings.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for me, growing up, my grandmother was a big influence. My mom, although she had her issues, okay, she was there. I had some aunts. So for me, the respect of females was always there.
Yeah.
Right? The
Yeah.
respect of females and that level of, okay, this is how I'm going to carry myself.
Yeah. When people,
I understood that
people in
sensitive
your
side.
circle may not have had that.
Right.
Right.
And
So-
I understood that sensitive side. Right.
Right.
I tapped into that early because, at an early age, it was taught to me, you can still be a man and be understanding.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the difference is sometimes as men, we understand, but we're so brolic and so machismo with our stance on things that if we tell you, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
with straight up sorry, right, like without the BS that comes behind it, it feels like you were not men.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It feels like we're too soft, and in a lot of respects,
Because of
especially the black
Mm-hmm.
man to
Yes.
black woman.
Yes.
Now we're feeling like we're being subservient. Like, yo, you see me as weak.
So this is the thing though, right?
So I'm glad we're having this
You see me
conversation
as
because
weak.
I don't see, I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Like, if
Right.
we didn't have, that's why I love this conversation.
But-
Listen,
in
I
this
can go
podcast.
back to how. Listen, I can, and I know I'm not a part of this. I'm a guest,
Yes.
but I can even go into how it's mentally been taught to us to do.
Yeah.
Right?
But-
like we've been taught, not just as black men, but as black men and women to dislike each other.
Yeah.
So the tension there is automatic.
And it's not even just dislike each other, but we've been taught to interact with the world in a certain way.
Right.
Right.
So what I do is when I have conversations with my guys, like I'm not trying to get them to an emotional level. I'm trying to reach them I'm trying to get them to a deep level though. Right?
Okay, yeah.
So it may invoke emotion, right? But the plan is to get deep into you.
Right.
So the same way a woman may get to have a certain level of depth that she gets to when she shares with her girlfriends. You know what I mean? Like, all right, like I do the same thing with the guys, but I get them to think about things on an intellectual level, sometimes a psychological level.
Right.
Just to think outside the box. A lot of times I have conversations with my guys and they're like, "Yo, I'm not ready for therapy. Like this feels like psychology."
Listen,
class
but
or
I think
something
that's
like that.
also a Libra thing because I get that from my girlfriends too.
All right.
Because I will even though women are a little bit more emotional, like you said, but we still have the logistic side, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Because we're human, right?
Yeah.
So I will try to play devil's advocate, and I think that's probably a Libra thing too, where I'm like,
And-
well, have
and-
you looked at it from this point of
Yeah.
view?
And so for Libras, that can be problematic when we have a friend who is, who broke up,
yeah,
and there's a reason for every breakup.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And we're trying to give support, but we can definitely see both
that,
sides. You know what I mean?
and
Like-
why it actually happened the way it did.
Well, I know why she told you to shut up because you talk too much. You know what I mean?
Well, I know how he was tripping
yeah.
because you always, doing X, Y, Z.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
You always going out, and he
Exactly.
told you to stay in the crib sometimes.
So there's always room, and men challenge each other. I don't know how women challenge each other, but men definitely challenge each
Listen,
other.
I agree with
that's
that.
a
I
good
agree with
conversation
that.
because
I agree with
I
that.
think we need to be able to trust each other to
Yeah.
actually do that more as women.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like then she's like, oh, why are you taking his side? You know what I'm saying? Or dang, like I thought I was going to get your support. So it's
Yeah.
almost like the opposite that you get from a woman compared
Yeah.
to it being like, dang, like I didn't even think about that. And it also depends on how close you are to that woman.
Yeah.
Because if she is like your homie, like she knows this is who you are and that you're always going to want the best for her in the beginning, always.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you might have a homie that you've only been two friends. I mean, years. Excuse me, 2 years exactly as friendships, and she like, dang, is she hating? Is she, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's always like trying to figure out the back motive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So here's another thing. When it comes to dealing with those people who are couples, I feel like a lot of times, and we're assuming that we've been talking from the assumption that we're friends with both.
Yes, exactly.
Both members of, of that couple.
Of that friend,
right?
that couple, exactly. So basically, you're like saying like their drama, how can that bleed into y'all thing?
So sometimes, like if you and I are a couple and we know her for years, and then she gets married to dude, and we don't like dude, you know what I mean? It's easy,
right?
To take
Because it's
sides.
like.
For both of us.
Yeah, exactly. Because like we ain't mess with him anyway.
Yeah.
Right. And they broke up. It's all good. But if we became couple friends, we knew her first, then she introduced us to her spouse, and now you get cool with him, and then you found out later, right? He becomes one of your closest friends, and then you found out later that he cheated on her. But you kind of naturally, I guess, for like the masculine side or whatever that's in you, kind of like want to help him out. Do you guys feel kind of like that obligation to like want to like defend the man in the situation when it comes to relationships breaking up? Like, do y'all feel like well, he such and such and such and such, like, you know what I mean?
So listen, like, I've been around long enough. I've had enough experiences. I've had enough ups and downs as a human being to give grace, and I say that lightly because it's not even giving grace, but it's more just having understanding that people can make mistakes.
Absolutely.
People can do the right thing, and people can do the wrong thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't necessarily make them a bad person.
Right.
But people
mess up.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And sometimes they mess up a lot.
Right.
And you might genuinely like them, and they just mess up. So I feel like it depends on, for me, somebody cheating on somebody isn't the reason for me to throw them out the window. You know what I mean? But I feel like there could be an instance where you have something like domestic violence, right?
Yeah.
And in that situation, like, you're trying to protect someone. You know what I mean? Protect their physical, mental, emotional well-being. And
when you say protect, like, elaborate on that.
So you're trying to protect the person who's being abused.
Right.
So you want them to get away.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
You know what I mean? And if you're really friends with these people, then you're gonna tell them that this might get worse. So you need to protect yourself.
Right, exactly.
You need to be safe.
Now, what if you are friends with the abuser?
Then you got, if it's a male,
and
I'm friends with him, then I gotta check him. You know what I mean? And I might have been friends with the guy who's the abuser.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I gotta check him, and I don't want to cuss, but I gotta check the heck out of him. You know what I mean? Right. And if need be, I gotta fall back from him.
Yeah. Because again, that's how it could bleed into the relationship, right?
Yeah.
So if it's like, you are like befriending this person or continually being like, oh, that's my homie, so I'm kind of supporting him.
Yeah.
And I would do air quotes with support, and then your wife is like, okay, how much support is you giving this, monster?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, no, but I'm trying, like, I know him. He wants to be better, or he should be better, or I'm trying to get him help, so I need to get him out of the house because he's depressed right now. And it's like, no, like, but you don't need to, though. So you know what I'm saying? Like, how that can bleed into your relationship.
I mean,
affecting you.
I think my wife has to know my stance on it, and even still, it's still gonna bleed into it, right? Because and as much time as I give whoever, she's gonna be like, you tolerate this behavior,
right?
Like, is this something that you're cool with?
Right.
Is this something that you're okay with? Something that you want to
then
be
we got a
associated
problem.
with?
You know what I'm saying?
It's the same thing with cheating.
Right.
Like, if she knows that somebody's doing something, she's like, well, is this something that you are co-signing?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, like, it becomes a slippery slope when somebody throws a party. You know what I mean? Like, who do you invite?
Right.
If I'm throwing a birthday party, do I invite him? Do I invite her?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it ended, even if there wasn't abuse,
And it just ended amicably, it still
even
could
if
be
it-
like, okay.
I mean,
well,
people break up for reasons.
Right.
So
Right.
it wasn't.
When I say amicably, I'm just saying like
Yeah.
it's like both parties were okay with each other at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no
Yeah.
problems at the
But they
end of
still
the day.
broke up.
Yeah.
They didn't lovingly break up.
Right, but
You
it
know what I
was
mean?
it was just like, okay,
Yeah.
we done. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So then
Mutual,
when I throw
should
the
say
party,
that,
I'm like, all right, who do I invite?
Now it's like, well,
when
then-
we're going on vacation or our regular couples trip or the trip out of town, we telling all our friends to come. Like, who do we tell? You know what I mean?
I think it's a rotation. I think that's the best. Like, honestly, I think that's the best solution. It's like, okay, for him, we have, okay, so for the guy, he's going to come to New Year's and New Year's and Thanksgiving. You know what I'm
plan
saying?
these
And it's
joints
like, like for major holidays, right? That's when you get, really connected to like your guy friends and your girlfriend, the couple friends, right?
That's
Like-
Scorpio coming up because Libras don't plan.
He's saying
all.
Scorpio, y'all, because I'm right on the cusp. My birthday is October 21st. So that's what he's saying.
Libras ain't planning nothing ahead of time. All my parties, you found out that day. Like, yo, I'm about to.
Yo, and it's so funny.
I ain't gonna hold you. I am like a spontaneous. dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Are you
I'm the
serious?
Guy, listen, I'm the guy that hit you up Saturday morning at about 10 o'clock and like, yo, big party tonight. Come
Yeah.
out. I won't even ask you if you got plans. I'm just like, make sure you come out.
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yeah, I'll set it up last minute. But
Oh my
usually it'll pull
gosh.
through though. So
Yeah, I'm
you know.
sure because it always is going to be a good time with
right.
Libra.
Yeah.
Always.
My wife will ask me 3 weeks, a month ahead, and I'm like, I don't know what I want to do.
Yo, we were
3 weeks
talking.
in, I don't know. What I want.
Yo, you gotta
2
feel
weeks
it.
in, I don't know.
You have to feel it. You
A
just
week
gotta
ahead,
feel it.
you don't gotta do nothing. The night before, like, you know what? I think I want to throw a party.
Yeah, when it was funny because before our first podcast, you like said to Chevis like, "Oh, I'm thinking about having something tomorrow," and I looked at him like, "What?" Like, you know?
Oh, while we were playing it.
Yes.
Yeah. I was
And
like,
I was just like, did he just ask her like 2 days before?
yeah, like, y'all.
That would drive me
Oh,
crazy,
Mother's
y'all.
Night's
Drive me
outside?
crazy.
Let's
Like-
invite 60 people over for a grand old time.
And thank God she's used to it because she didn't
Yeah, she's
flinch.
used to it.
She ain't flinch at
Yeah.
all. I would have been like, excuse me, I'm sorry. Like, you know, like, what you say?
There's been plenty of Eagle football Sundays where Sam has woken up and it's been about 10 dudes in the living room.
Oh, no, we ain't doing it. We're just watching the game.
And Sam is your significant other, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
We just watching the game.
that's it. You know.
Yeah. And so, yeah, so it makes a difference. The reason that they broke up, if it's a mutual decision, it makes it easier. And I guess that's when you just got to take turns, you know.
Like with who you invite.
With who
So I have
you
another
invite.
question for you then.
All right.
So what if a partner, okay, so
Mhm.
they broke up, right? But he cheated.
Okay.
Okay. You still stayed friends with him. Y'all both agreed it was okay, whatever. So now he wants to bring the shorty that he cheated with to the events that we are hosting as a couple. Like,
So,
what's your perspective when it comes to that?
Wait, you're asking if they've already been broken up?
So they broke up because of Shorty, and he's trying to bring her to our next party.
Gotcha.
You got me?
all right, so, all right, it's a good question. So, depends on the relationship you have with him.
As a couple or for you?
Both.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Both. Like, my wife is not cool with that.
I wouldn't be either.
She might
Straight up.
tolerate it,
I'm a tolerate it, but
For
I don't
me,
want. Yeah.
but she's not necessarily cool with that. I'm going to hear about it later. Oh, trust me, I'm going to hear about it.
Yes.
I'm going to hear about it before. I'm going to hear about it after.
Probably during too. Like if you see her, like
She might let me live. She might let me live until the party's over. but I'm definitely going to hear about it. And so I think that's something that you just on a as is basis. Like once you run into it, deal with it, deal with the repercussions, deal with your wife telling you off after the fact, and then keep it moving because she has to express herself. Like she has to express how she feels about the situation.
Yeah.
Just to know that she has communicated to you
that's not
that
cool.
she ain't with it.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So don't
I'm
try
letting
to.
you do this,
yeah.
but I'm not with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it also reflects on you.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is what I don't want you to be comfortable with this idea.
And thinking that this is cool.
To think that this is cool. Because it could be you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's natural for women in general to think like that because it's going to affect. Like, I can't just let him get away and think that it's going to be okay. Because if it's like, oh, I give an inch and the person's going to take 50 miles. You know what I'm saying? Let alone 1.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I have to let you know that this isn't cool. But because it's our boy, I'm giving it a pass. But only because it's our boy.
Only because it's our boy.
And we love him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
if it was somebody, like if it was
some random, you know, or an associate, like,
or if you were cool with her, and it was just her boyfriend or her husband or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, nah, she wouldn't be with it. But if we're cool and super tight with both of the partners,
right, then
it's you know, some people have to choose sides. I know couples who have had to choose sides. You know what I mean? With the same people that I remain cool with both with, or I remain cooler with in terms of my communication with him because I'm a man. You know what I mean? I don't need to be talking to her all the time the way my wife might be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Of course.
And so it can be problematic, but you have to be diplomatic in your approach to how you deal with these things.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And communicate. Like, I think that's what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
Because I think it doesn't warrant anybody any goodness by not saying something about the situation and be caught up either hanging with him when you say you weren't going to or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wait, you still cool with this cheater? Especially how bad I feel about what he did, and now you just going to hide it from me. Like, hiding anything from any spouse or significant other just isn't the way. Yeah. Because they say what comes out in the wash or what doesn't come out in the wash is going to come out in the dryer. Like, so it's going to come out. Like, it's going to have to come out. So, yeah.
So, that was good. So, what do we come to? So, it's okay to choose sides.
Yeah.
But it's also okay not to. Right. You know what I mean?
Y'all got to talk about it either way.
You got to talk about it. It's all about communication, which is the whole point of this podcast, because you're getting communication between, you know, male, woman.
He stopped himself, y'all, because I already checked him, because I hate when our society always says men and females, like, we're not dogs,
or male
okay?
And female.
But I mean, understand male and female, but when you say like dudes and females, I hate that.
so the communication between men and women,
yes,
absolutely,
yes,
that's what we're trying to give you a glimpse of, and especially as it pertains to relationships. A lot of times, when you're not in one or you're trying to become in one, trying to be in one, you don't have a full perspective of what it takes. Yeah. And it takes a lot of listening.
Absolutely.
And a lot of talking, a lot of communication.
And like really corely communicating. And I'm just going to say that real quick, because sometimes people just think just because I say something, you're actually listening. And that's not true. You know what I'm saying? Like, you actually have to be attentive on what you're saying and what you're receiving. And listening with an understanding.
That's right.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is No Filter.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Honestly.
Another episode of No Filters Podcast. It's real people.
Real relationships.
Real talk.
No filters.
My name is Drew. Father Drew.
My name is your girl, India.
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Please like and subscribe.
And share.
and we will see you next time on No Filters Podcast.